Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps. It is I, your host for the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back for another SmackDown breakdown presented to you by Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show. And you can't have Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
All on.
I don't know what that means.
It's the plural of hello. What's poppin'? How we doing? Yeah, exactly. What's going on? I feel like I'm in a good mood today. I'm in a good mood today. Been
That's
up
good.
since 4. We worked a full day. My niece and nephew came over. We swam in the pool. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Found this. This is crazy. All right, my nephew is going to be a freak athlete. Actually, both my niece and nephew are going to be freak athletes, and it only was proven today. My brother was telling me that they went to the batting cages before coming over to our pool, and he said he got into the cage that was like little league speed, like 40, 50 miles per hour, and was like making contact. Guess how old he is?
I think, didn't you tell me he's like, I don't know, is he 5?
Yeah, he's 5.
Yeah.
He's 5 years old, hitting 40 mile per hour. And this isn't like, we are not a family of coddlers. Like, if someone is not doing well, even if it's a child, like, yeah, no, he didn't hit it. Like, he tried, but he was hitting it. That's incredible. And he's even better at golf, but they focus on the real sports, where I'm more like, yeah, sports entertainment, man, that's my shit, our shit, and no one has it. So, all right, well, that's a weird ramble. We got Bernard here, we got David here. It's a lot of fun because SmackDown last night, Sarah. I wouldn't even call it SmackDown, to be quite honest with you. It was just WWE presents the Bloodline. That's just what it was. And then the other matches were just, we'll say, commercial breaks of that story.
All right. I mean, I feel like it's a little disrespectful, but that's okay.
Okay, I'm proving a point. Obviously, it was a little bit more than that. But what I'm saying is that the Bloodline dominated.
Well, yeah. I mean, they were like the first 40 minutes of the show, so.
Oh, and sprinkles after. They kept bringing it up. Yeah, and it's just... It was at a sold-out MSG. We knew they were going to go big for this. And then to have it go... I've seen this on Twitter today. I was scrolling, and someone asked the question, what is the longest non-wrestling segment on a wrestling show? And the Bloodline's up there at this point because they took 39, 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it was like people were paying attention the entire time.
Oh,
it wasn't something where it was like, oh, okay, that's because I watched SmackDown today, so obviously I was like paying attention because as I always do when it's on the East Coast. But I had other stuff to do last night, so I didn't watch it until earlier today, and that's why I was tweeting about, like, it amazes me how there are people who don't watch WWE when you know that this Bloodline storyline is going on. Like, that's just incredible to me. Like, of course there's going to be people who maybe they never were into wrestling and now they're just into AEW because it's what they were first introduced to, so that's what they're partial to. But it is crazy to think that this is going on and there are people who willingly choose to be like, nah, I'm not interested. Like, I even was talking to someone today who said that they used to watch wrestling and whatever, but they've been turned off of it for years now. And then they even said that the Bloodline just was like something that should have ended like months or years ago. I'm like,
they don't appreciate good storytelling.
I was like, I don't know. I don't know about that. So I was kind of, I'm like, it's like good every single week. And if it was something that wasn't entertaining the mass audience, then it wouldn't have been on the show for 40 minutes. It wouldn't be selling out arenas across the country when Roman is being told, Roman is being said that he's going to be there, or this is going to be said to be happening. Like, there's a reason why it's been main eventing, like everything. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy to me.
It's the best. I say it, just best story in wrestling. It's not even close. And I'm trying to make my own comparisons, and I think we were talking about this on some stream at some point, but how you feel like it should have ended so long ago, or should have, wrong word, could have.
Yeah.
It could have, and you would have been so satisfied. I think it'll be like, all right, great, that chat's over, move on, because of how hot wrestling is right now, or on like the up and up.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the details and how many directions they can go with it, and how much time, and I would say just freedom overall with the entire story, it's the most captivating in television, honestly.
Well, and I think the part that makes it that way is because they really are a family. And so,
yes.
The lines are blurred there, and they are not people who are in the public eye that much when they're not in a wrestling ring. And so it's easier for people to believe what is being said and what is being done, that there actually is tension in the family. And so I think that makes people more interested, because they aren't people who are super active on social media. They're not out there going to restaurants in Hollywood and spending time doing whatever, so it's a lot different than I think what a lot of other wrestlers are doing, where they're on reality shows, or they're out being pictured here, they're doing this. And so I think it's like they've known exactly how to keep this going and to keep it fresh and interesting. So kudos to them, whoever is like the main people behind this, because I have no idea. But
they deserve all the awards. I mean, it's incredible. It's been going on for this long, and you're still on the edge of your seat every time they come out. It's in the character evolution, the connections, little details. I mean, we'll get into it now, or at some point, because I'll segue in here, Sarah, and then you could take it up from here, because LA Knight technically kicked off Madison Square Garden SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I have thoughts on this.
Same.
And why?
That's why I have it in 3 banners.
3. But mine, I would say, are very different from yours in the way that I'm thinking of this more positive way.
I have one in a positive way.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it.
Okay.
I think that this is probably the best case scenario for him, because going in, they had to have known the bloodline was going to go over whatever time they were allotted. Mm-hmm. They just they didn't know how long, but they knew they would go over to some capacity. And when you want to, or when you have a show at MSG with this magnitude, all that, those Shotzi matches, Lacey, all those, and then LWO, I would even put them in there as well. Like, they're not there yet to be on that card, because it's just there's no current feud that is still going on with them. I don't know. It's just I'm kind of rambling. So yeah, you go.
Okay, so I was gonna say, yeah,
I have so many thoughts that they just like rush my head at once, and now my head hurts because, yeah, continue.
So please. Okay, so before SmackDown went on air, there was videos from fans. I don't think WWE posted it for a few hours, but LA Knight was in a pre-show segment with Hit Row. Hit Row came out and was like insulting the crowd, and then LA Knight's music hit and the crowd went insane. But even before that, I had seen people saying that the top 3 chants that was happening as like people were funneling in was woo, which is always the woo chants. What else were they saying? What, or whatever they were saying, and then yeah was another chant that they were doing a lot. So I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot of LA Knight fans there. So
Uso, they were chanting.
Oh, Uso, yeah. And so to have him come out, it was like, okay, cool. So he comes out, he beats up Hit Row, people go crazy. He has them chant like LA Knight, and then he's like, I just want to talk to you guys real quick, like tell them whose game it is, and then he says LA Knight, and the entire crowd is like, oh my god. And so that was great. But then it's like you kind of immediately knew at that point that, okay, they didn't have anything planned for him. So, yeah, I had two ways to interpret this. One was, yeah, why didn't they have anything planned for him? Which you kind of already hit on it, which was like, they already had, substantial plans for the trial of the tribal chief. And that's not really something that I feel like many people can argue with, like, and it goes into like what we were talking about earlier this week when we said about where does LA Knight go from here, because he's not really had anything going on basically consistently since his feud with Bray Wyatt. And so because he doesn't have a set opponent, a set rivalry, feud, whatever at this moment, of course he's not going to be like on this show, so that sucks. But I was like, okay, there is a positive way to look at it as well, which is Vince McMahon was in town. He was in the backstage area, and this was a great way for the entire WWE universe to prove to Vince McMahon how very wrong he was about LA Knight, because LA Knight was huge in NXT. And because of concerns regarding his age, Vince was like, nope, okay, I think you need to be a manager. And that's why he made him Max Dupree. Once Vince like stepped away was when they were like, oh, no, we're going to have you come back to LA Knight. And now look where he is. So the fact that they had him be like the hype man to get SmackDown going before it even hit airwaves, the fact that they were so loud for him the entire like 90 seconds, it just shows Vince McMahon. It was like firsthand. He didn't see it at home, he saw it in person.
Oh, he felt it. You had to feel it. My friends who went last night said the loudest pop of the night was LA Knight.
Yeah, and that wasn't even one that we saw on television.
The man is so over, and I hate the people who try to say, "Oh, he's a Rock or Stone Cold carbon copy." No, it's. Of course, he's going to have the mimic that. That's what he watched. He even said that growing up, that's what you watch. Mm-hmm. And just the way he speaks, it just is him. I don't think of it's who he is. You know what I mean? That's what you grow up with. That's your inspiration. So you're going to mimic your inspiration to a point where people are going to see that. Yeah. But to that point, if they're thinking of you in that light and you're this over, then I would think of it as a pretty damn good compliment too.
Yeah, because, I think it's ridiculous anyway, because everybody's influenced by somebody, and there are going to be other wrestlers that people just really, really like, and that so they don't mention like, oh, this person is a copy of this former wrestler. Yeah, you're not saying it because you like them. You know what I mean? But like everybody is influenced. You have to be. That's just how life is. Like history repeats itself. There's only so much creativity there is, and his voice. Okay, if it sounds like The Rock, okay, so they were born with similar voices. Like, how are you hating on a man because he naturally sounds like another man? Like, a lot
of people talk the same.
It's just weird. Yeah. Like, I don't understand. And the thing is, I don't see it. Like, I never saw it until people started repeating it and being like, oh, he's just like The Rock and Stone Cold. I'm like, but how though? Like,
his cadence is different.
Well, he has the old school vibe, which we've talked about before, and I've said that that's the part that I love about him. And I don't know if that's what people are kind of like honing in on, but I don't get Stone Cold vibes just because he wears a leather vest. You know what I mean? Like,
is that their comparison?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, you're just grasping at straws. Fair. Yes. I mean, so that would be an argument. Yeah.
I don't understand because, like, when I look at him, he doesn't look like Stone Cold. He doesn't wrestle like Stone Cold. He doesn't like talk like Stone Cold. Like, I don't understand that. If you want to say he sounds like The Rock, whatever, but still, that's like his his chemical makeup. Like, he's
and his mannerisms too.
But it's just, but still, like, okay. Like,
did you know that so in the 2K video games, he did all of The Rock's animations.
Yes, he did a lot of wrestlers too. He said his favorite was R-Truth. He did R-Truth's once.
He did R-Truth?
Yeah, watch interviews of him with Chris Van Vliet, like older ones. He talks about like all of the wrestlers that he did, and he said he thinks the one that his favorite one and the one he did the best was he did R-Truth's entrance. So
that's see, that's motherfucking range, Sarah.
I know.
If you can be LA Knight and then go to R-Truth, are you kidding me?
Maybe I'll find the interview and I'll send it to you so you can watch, because I've watched a bunch of his interviews like before he came to WWE and like as he was there.
He was Eli Drake?
Yeah, I've watched those. So yeah. So I don't know. I just think it's a weird thing, and I'm just like, and who cares? If he's cool, he's cool. Like I don't know.
I want to be that cool.
I know. I'm like, it's bizarre. I don't know. I don't know. Do we have any comments? I haven't looked.
No, but we just brought up Eli Drake, so I think this is a good time to play the
dummy. Yeah. Dummy. Yeah. Dummy. Yeah.
I need to hear that.
Also, the other good thing, I don't know if you saw this, but LA Knight was the number 4 highest grossing merchandise seller in June. He sold more than the NWO. It was like Roman Reigns. I don't remember the list. It was like the Roman Reigns.
Roman, Stone Cold, The Rock.
It was Roman, Cody, Stone Cold, LA Knight, NWO. That's insane. And you have to think about it too. The Yeah shirt, I don't even know if that came out in June. Or if it did, it was like at the very end, like the last 2 days of June. So he was selling a lot of LA Knights, like the one t-shirt that he had. He was selling a lot of that. That's incredible.
I still have to buy that one.
I know, I do too. He was wearing the white one last night, and that one's not for sale, but anyway.
Should I buy 2 and make 1 like a cutoff? Or is that just like too hardo? I think it's too hardo.
2, I don't know what hardo means.
Like being a hardo?
I don't know what that means.
Like a bro. What's up, bro?
No, LA Knight does it.
Yeah, but that's
if I could trust
LA Knight can do that. All right, he's not fucking Patty Pitts.
If I could trust myself to cut a t-shirt, then I would probably cut mine up and like, you know, customize them or whatever. But I don't trust myself with scissors. So like to a t-shirt, like I would mess it up so quick, and then I'd be pissed that I spent $30 on a t-shirt that I messed up. So
I did it to this is a sad story too, because my mom threw it away, but I had an I'm a Paul Heyman guy shirt. It's one of my favorite wrestling shirts, and I made it into a cutoff so I could wear it by the pool. And when I came home from college, we had like pretty much spring cleaning into the next stage of your life, and got rid of all jerseys and wrestling t-shirts, except for like a few jerseys that, you know, essentials, or you gotta have some, but all wrestling shirts gone. And I remember doing that. I love that shirt so much. If anyone can find me a link to an I'm a Paul Heyman guy shirt, I will buy that right now. So on air.
Okay.
So
okay. Let's move on to the meat and potatoes of SmackDown. So, so Roman Reigns, or no, I'm sorry, excuse me. Let me start all over again. The Usos start off SmackDown, and it just told you right there that this crowd was going to be incredible, because they were singing every word to the Usos song, which is not one that is often heard sung, because it's like not, I don't know, it's just not one of those songs. Yeah.
They want it to be nice.
Down. I know. What?
Never mind. Continue.
Okay. And basically right away they were interrupted after gloating about, you know, what they've done and how they beat Roman at Money in the Bank, which is crazy to think that Money in the Bank was just like a week ago. I'm like, it feels like 3 weeks ago at this point. I don't know. But really Paul and Solo came out, and there's so many interesting things here, but I feel like I need to stick to my banners because I will go all over the place if I don't.
That's why it's good to have the banners. Good.
Yes.
Good there.
So immediately he's talking whatever, and the Usos are like, "Wise man, you need to shut your mouth." And Paul is like, "There's only one man in WWE that will ever tell Paul Heyman to stop talking." And that's when Solo covers the microphone, takes it away, stands in the corner, the only serious one, who's like 99% of the time serious. And that's when Roman came out. And I have to say, seeing Roman come out by himself, was that not weird?
Yeah.
Weird.
It had a little darker undertone.
I liked that they did that too, because it kind of was like symbolism. You know, like
absolute symbolism.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, it was really weird because it's like, when's the last time he came out by himself? It's literally been years. And so anyway, so the crowd started chanting at him right away. And I loved the fact that Roman was interacting with them, which is something that we've talked about even recently. There's a video that's going to be going up in the next couple days. I don't remember if it's out tomorrow or what, about, like Dominic being more like back and forth with the audience. This was what Roman was doing. So immediately they started chanting, "You got pinned, you got pinned, you got pinned." And the Usos called him out right away for manipulating them, which I was like, oh, we love that, right? Okay. Because they've not really said those words at all. Then they show Exhibit A. So they were like, let's just get this trial started because, of course, Roman is just like, who are you? Like, I'm the tribal chief. I'm the one.
You can't call this.
Yes,
he did mention the elders.
I know. I was kind of bummed that we didn't get any. But anyway, so Jay was like, whatever, get to the video. And it was almost like, oh my God, like whoever put that video together, I was like, those were really like crazy moments. Some of them I almost forgot about. And I was like, wow, okay. Like whoever is in charge of these video packages really did their due diligence.
Oh, they did their homework.
Yeah. Imagine all of the video that they have to sift through. Oh
man, that's emotional trauma.
Yeah.
Easily.
So, yeah, it was pretty damning. And then, of course, the audience starts going, you fucked up. You fucked up. Where if you were on the West Coast, it was like literally 15 seconds of nothingness because they bleeped it out. And
that happened on every coast. It was just silence.
So Roman says, no, I didn't. And I was like, see, this is what I want. And that's something we said about Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller has been doing that, when they were calling him a wanker and he was like, I don't have to, or something like that, or whatever. Yeah.
Classic Grayson Waller.
Yeah, I was like, this is what I love. I love when they actually like interact with what the audience is saying to them instead of just ignoring it, because we're not in that era anymore where you kind of have to act like they're not there. I don't know, but
they're more involved than ever.
Yeah. So then we get the king of manipulation from Roman Reigns, who like, I can't. This was like, we've talked so much about how great the bloodline is overall. We've talked about how great the Usos have been. We've talked about how great Roman has been. I feel like this was some of the best work that Roman has done.
Easily.
It was just incredible. Okay, so he goes into being like
a warrior.
That's not who I am. I was forced to do this. Like, do you really think I wanted to lower myself to do this to you guys? You think I wanted to do all of that? I did it for you, and I did it for you. Blah blah blah. Just kept going into the gaslighting, the manipulation, like trying to make Jay and Jimmy feel bad for him. And it started to work. You could see their body language started to be like relaxing and kind of being like, oh, man, we feel so bad for our cousin / uncle, whatever he is to us, because he's bold.
My cousin uncle.
Yeah, my uncle cousin. And so this is just where it gets really good. Roman decides, you know what? I'm done. He takes off the flower lei, takes off his championship, gets down on his knees after presenting the lei to Jay, basically saying, all right, Jay, you get what you wanted. You are the tribal chief. And this man is so dedicated, he literally cries actual tears.
Did you see the walrus behind him?
I know, but
oh my God, it was like he was at a funeral.
But like Roman crying, that's not something we've seen yet. And he
that's what Academy Award winning.
Yes, and so I was like, oh wow, okay, this is deep, right? And so then Jay gets down and starts like consoling him, and is like, oh, you know, blah blah, and that's when he hits him with the low blow, and you're like, there we go. You know, this is where it all starts to go to shit. And then you're like, okay, we knew that the swerve was coming, but you didn't really expect it to be that. But again, it's a callback.
Yeah, you're wrestling, you got to follow the details. You got to follow the details.
Yes. So then, like, you know, a brawl semi breaks out. Solo comes into the ring. And he stares at that lay and is like, this is looking pretty good right now. Let me just think about putting this on my neck. And he hits Jimmy with the Samoan spike. And then him and Roman just have a little bit of a stare down over the lay. Jay comes in and attacks him. Solo lays him out. They tie up Jay to watch them as they destroy Jimmy, which then leads to Jimmy being taken out on a stretcher. So,
just incredible.
Before we get into my other point, it was like
unbelievable. It was so good.
Yeah, and this wasn't what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but this wasn't what I was expecting, if that makes any sense. I was really thrown off at first about, you know, Roman being like, I'm done, I'm this, I'm that, because also Paul is so good at being so convincing about not knowing what's going to happen or like believing what is being done in front of him. So you kind of like look for cues, but like Paul's not going to give them to you, you know? And so that was like, okay, cool, that's interesting. And then when it swerved, you was like, all right, that's what I wanted, you know, like that's kind of what you wanted, but they needed that setup to kind of like reel you in, you know?
And there's a lot of little things that were said that opens this up to be done again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, when he comes out and he's saying, who called tribal court? Only the tribal chief can call tribal court. You can open it for him calling tribal court on whatever. You can even open the door for an elder. And this is how we get our elders to come back, where they are the ones who can call it as well because they're elders. I mean, and it can be a tribal court leading up to, you know, a Royal Rumble or a Survivor Series or something to build that up. So it was perfect that, I mean, they used the hijacked trials right there in the banner. It's perfect that he hijacked it because that's kind of where he is right now.
I feel like he had to.
Yeah,
it was about him, and it was about his behavior. And if he just sat there and was like agreeing completely with them, then it would invalidate everything that led them to that point. So he had to be like,
yeah, he had to throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, there was no better way to do that, I feel, at all, because it was just so many twists and turns. And again, you know, I saw so many people saying like that might have been the first 45 minutes of the show, but I didn't stop watching.
Oh, I didn't stop watching either.
That's incredible, though. You know, I mean, how many times have you sat there and watched a SmackDown and you do look away in the first 45 minutes? You know, and it's like, it doesn't matter what's on there. If it's not interesting, it's not holding your attention. So,
yeah. And the thing is, even with matches that start the show and you know, look at your phone or, you know, whatever, you're still looking away at it, but you're entertained by the match.
Right.
Know?
Yeah.
With this, my eyes were fucking glued, Sarah, to this television. Like, I couldn't look away because even the tiniest of movement meant something. Paul Heyman trying to get into the ring, and he's, you know, one step, slow motion into the second one. You know, the way they paused and stared down at each other during Solo looking at the, you know, tribal necklace or whatever it is. And then the stare off that him and Roman have. Like, that takes time, but you're watching because you're like, do something. You're ready for it. You're waiting for it. They're not, and it's that little bit of tension there that captivates you and entertains you. And for 45 minutes to be able to do that without a commercial break, and even after the commercial break, a lot of people saw that they were hospital, whatever, and immediately went right back because they're like, oh shit, something's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously it's just double tap. Adam Pearce just banging on that thing like
he's a medical professional all of a sudden.
They did say hospital last night.
Yeah.
They did say hospital, which was a banned word for some reason.
Oh. That's weird.
Did you not know that?
No.
Oh, yeah. It was like a
medical facility.
Yeah, they said medical facility.
That's so weird. But one of the biggest takeaways, I would say. So we already briefly talked about it. Obviously, Solo and Roman had a little stare down. I'm just calling it a lay because it's like looks like a lay.
I'm gonna look up what the term is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kept calling it that because I feel like when you say it, it's like you automatically know kind of like what I'm talking about. So I don't know. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything. I just, I really feel like we got hints, or if not, to me, in my mind, we got confirmation that Solo is going to be the one to dethrone Roman if it's going to be a member of the bloodline. Because I know that there are a lot of people who believe that it's still going to be Cody Rhodes. I don't know that it's going to be Cody Rhodes, but
I think I don't think it is either.
Well, because then that's also assuming that Cody's going to be champion like fairly quickly upon returning, and I don't know that he needs to do that. I don't know that he needs to be champion right away. Like within a year of coming back, or 2 years, but basically it's like a year and a half. So other than the stare down, right? And
I found the name of before you. I found the name of the. It's called an Ulafala.
All right,
Ulafala. But you can, yeah.
Okay, I don't want to mispronounce it, so I'll just say it's the tribal necklace, the tribal lei. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Solo picks it up and he's really staring at it, and then obviously Roman's like, "What the heck? What are you doing? Like, put that back on me. Give that to me. Whatever." And especially since Solo hasn't given any indication of leaving Roman's side, so I thought that was pretty cool because that was kind of like the first sight of that. But this is my theory. So I've already been saying this for how many months? That's all.
Oh, you've been saying it for a while. This is you. Yeah, I give you props here. I give you your dues here.
So I've been saying for months that Solo was going to be the one, right? And so this to me kind of, I was like, when I was watching this, because obviously I got the spoilers last night, and then I got to watch it myself, so it gave me more time to think about it and for it to like process, right? And so this is my theory. So after watching all of this, to me it makes sense, and I feel like they really did set it up that it's going to be Solo. So I think the reason why it's going to be Solo is one, Jay, which we'll get into a second. Jay challenged Roman. It's probably going to be what happens at SummerSlam. Jay's not becoming champion at SummerSlam. They're not dethroning. They're not dethroning Roman at SummerSlam. But then, are we supposed to believe that they're going to wait for Jay and Roman to have a rematch at Mania for the title? Like we've already seen it.
No.
I mean, no. Well, wait. This is my theory.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm saying we got that right. I think that the idea of it being Jay, I understand it 100%. I wouldn't be mad about it whatsoever. If I was wrong about it being Solo and it ends up being Jay, I wouldn't be mad. This is the thing, though. I don't think that it's necessary anymore. I don't know that Jay has to be the one. Jay is going to go down in the record books for being the one to pin Roman Reigns for the first time in 3.5 years. That is not more iconic than dethroning Roman, but that's like equal level almost, because like it was something that you didn't think was ever going to happen, and you didn't think it was going to happen until he lost the title. That wasn't something like, I feel like this is kind of their way of rewarding Jay for everything that he did and giving him this like gigantic moment and having him go down in history as the one to have done it. And I feel like it kind of could be their way of being like, okay, you're not going to be the one to dethrone him, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because like he has this other gigantic, what's the word I'm looking for? Accomplishment or something, and
achievement, accomplishment, feat.
Yes. And so I think that this kind of set it up, because then when you watch the interview with the Usos and Ariel Helwani, the unbiased journalist, they have spoken about how proud they are of Solo and how far he's come and how good he is already. And you have to remember, he's like 7-8 years younger than them. Then so it would make sense for him to be the tribal chief, right? Because he would be the tribal chief for the next generation, which also, think about it this way, it's a full circle moment. Solo's debut on the main roster was at Clash at the Castle. He was brought up to help the continuation of the bloodline and their ownership over the WWE. Wouldn't it be just a great moment for him to be the reason that the reign of terror of Roman Reigns ends and he becomes the new tribal chief?
You're selling me. You're selling me on it.
So
I'm not opposed to this, and I want Jay to get it, but I'm not opposed to that either. I like that.
I feel like, I think because I don't know when Solo will be at a point where we see him turn on Roman. I think it's going to be drawn out for a while, because I think they really want it to feel like something that is never going to happen, that it would be like the biggest shock ever that Solo decided to turn and join his brothers. You know, I think that they need to draw it out, because if he like turns at like SummerSlam, it's too quick, you know?
Oh yeah, they know it. No,
yeah. And I feel like, you know, when I don't know if you caught this, but at Money in the Bank, when Jay pinned Roman says to him, "I love you," as he's pinning him. I don't know if you saw that. And I feel like, you know, this was Roman's way of like putting the Usos over completely. You know what I mean? Like, again, like rewarding them for being such a huge part of this story, because Roman has all the accolades. You know, the Usos didn't. They were the tag team champions, but they weren't the longest reigning universal champion. They're not the undisputed champion. Like, Roman has all that glory because he's by himself. He's a solo guy. So, okay, he had to have been somewhat a part of the decision to be pinned by Jay specifically. And so I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if the three of them would want to like catapult Solo's career forward by him being the one to dethrone Roman. I just feel like it makes sense, and there's so much time between now and then. Of course it could change. You know, Jay could be the one, but as of right now, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's 100% like going in that direction, that it's going to be Solo. And I would be so freaking satisfied if I was right, just because then I could be like, you know, that's what I would do.
I'm gonna need that laugh as like a soundbite, and we just
I'll cut it for you.
just tap the button.
Yeah, or like when I'm being ridiculous and you just play it like, shut up. And it's just like but anyway.
I mean, Solo, you're convincing me here. I still, you know, I think it's gonna be Jay, and I want it to be, because I told Carabas that it's gonna be Jay Uso, and he looked at me and goes, "Nah, it's Cody Rhodes." So I mean, that would be really satisfying.
If it was what, Cody?
No. Oh, if it wasn't Cody, it was Jay, and I could be like,
oh, well, yeah. So you can say, yeah.
Solo, it's better for the payoff. That's what's best for business, Sarah.
Solo, I know. I think that I mean, I understand why people would want it to be Cody, but I also feel like Cody didn't come back to defeat Roman specifically. They didn't have a history there. I mean, even they only had 2.5 months of buildup. That was basically Cody versus a camera, or Cody versus Paul Heyman. So the history that they have is that Cody got to main event WrestleMania for the first time, and he got to have a championship title match at WrestleMania in the main event against the longest reigning champion of the modern era. That's the history they have. Otherwise, it's basically he just is vying for the championship because it's the championship that has eluded his family. So I don't know that it has to be a
personal one.
Yeah, it's not a personal thing against Roman. It's a personal thing for the title. So I don't know that, you know, it's possible that they get to a point where the bloodline, it doesn't need to happen that way. But I feel like at this point, I would be, and I feel like the most people, invested in WWE and in this story, even in Cody. It's the most satisfying to see a bloodline member dethrone him. And we've talked about the rumors, which it's not even a rumor, you know that it's going to happen, of Roman turning babyface at some point. What is a bigger babyface turning moment than being absolutely humiliated for months and months and months by your own family, and then it all coming to a head by getting your title taken away from you? Like, I just feel like that would be the perfect moment for him to be like, all right, I fucked up. I was a horrible human being. I can't believe I did that to my family. I want my family back, blah, 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 blah. You know, like, I let it get to my head. Whatever. Like, I don't know. That's just my idea, but
I like it. I actually have no other response because I'm just.
All right. Well,
I really like it. I really like that idea.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that, because usually you don't agree with me when it comes to the bloodline stuff. Like, at least that part. I mean, usually.
No, you're right. I usually don't, but it's because I'm looking for the like best Easter egg reveal, if you want to say like that, most dramatic. And it's great. Jay would be a great one, but if you dig deeper and find Solo and everything you described with probably other stuff that we missed, that would be literally more than a historic moment in wrestling.
Well, and don't forget, remember we talked about it, I don't even know how many months ago, that they want to push Solo to be like a champion. So
you have to push him to be a champion. That's the whole point. If you're going to make the bloodline a thing, like the bloodline could be a thing for generations.
Yeah. Yeah. And Solo could be the next guy because he is the youngest and will be around for the longest time out of the other three compared to like how old they are. I mean,
and there's Samoan, so there's going to be a new wrestler in the next 10 months.
Well, did they say Umaga's son just got into wrestling?
Who?
Umaga's son, didn't they say?
There's that's more. What you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do when you're Samoan.
Yeah. So, and don't forget, the Usos have children. You know?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do. They have multiple. Yeah, Jay has like 2 or 3 kids, and Jimmy has something. I think Jimmy is with a different woman. Obviously, not Naomi.
That's the only thing. Yeah, that was my first thought. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah, it's not with Naomi. But it would have been.
Well, that would have been a little obvious that she has been pregnant.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I don't know if Jay it's with the woman he's married to. I don't know. I don't know enough about their their personal lives to have, understand.
We're not crazy.
But to finish off the bloodline stuff, we did get more at the end of the show, which was great. Of
course we did.
They announced that Jay was back in the building after going to the medical facility. I almost said the banned word. And so Roman comes out and demands acknowledgement because he didn't think he got a good enough acknowledgement from Madison Square Garden beforehand. Jay interrupts him and they are pissed off, man. He comes into the ring through the crowd, beats Roman with a chair. Roman and Paul run away like little
cowardly dogs,
like little scale puppy doggies,
babies,
like little Matt Riddles. And they and then Jake Roman left the championship, and so Jay is like, I'm just gonna take this. I'm just gonna
look so angry all the time. It's awesome. Like he's just like,
yeah, he's just so pissed. I know.
What's going on?
And Roman's yelling at him like, put that down. Take your hands off.
Put it down.
And so that's when Jay officially challenges him one-on-one. So we know that this is probably what it's going to be. It is going to be headlined at SummerSlam, Roman versus Jey Uso for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship of the World Heavyweight title, whatever Paul Heyman calls it this week. But this is the thing, guys. I checked the schedule. I checked Roman's schedule. He has the next 2 weeks off. He is not back until the 21st. So we will have 2 weeks without him, which I think is, I mean, I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled about it, given obviously what happened. But I do think that there is enough for them to go off of with Solo there, with Paul there. I think that they can kind of like fill the space a little bit. But again, I just, I feel like this was like too good for Roman to miss the next 2 weeks. If it was 1 week, I would still be like, but it's one. It's just that he's not going to be back for another 3 weeks, basically. It's like almost, it's like.
But let's be real here. How much, like, the bloodline took up that much time.
Yeah.
And at this stage of wrestling, you want to see you want to see other people. You want to see people like Austin Theory get
LA Knight.
LA Knight
Pretty
get
Deadly.
all the time in the world. I was just about to say Pretty Deadly.
Oh my God, guys.
Yeah, we don't have 3 count, but wrestling shirt season.
It's wrestling shirt season.
Got LWO on.
We're 2 tasty snacks. Look at
yeah, we are.
Look at little Kit. Where's my fingers?
I don't know what part of your body
little
that is.
Kit and Elton.
Do you just do like you're gonna like start doing that? Just like just
yeah, I'm
like
just gonna start.
To their faces?
I'm just gonna start tickling them.
Just ticklish. Maybe they're ticklish.
I don't. but anyway, yes. So we'll have to see what happens in a few weeks. But I think there's some other stuff that's going on that will be okay. So now that we've spoken about the bloodline for 45 minutes, accurate.
Oh my God, no way.
That's so weird. Now that we spoke about them for 45 minutes of our show as well, let's move on.
The ones.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah, and this is exactly mine is Sheamus, but this is like the next big thing that came up next.
Yeah, I mean, so the Grayson Waller effect, and that's me with my British accent because I can't do Australian. Grayson Waller has Mr. Edge return to be on the Grayson Waller effect, which I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And even I think it was Michael Cole or whoever was like, oh my gosh, like this is so great. Like what a great week Grayson Waller is having. So Waller cuts off Edge when he comes into the ring because he's all trying to be all like, suck up to the crowd because that's what baby faces do.
Mentioned Stable, Mark Merrow, and Jack.
I know. I was like,
what a cast of characters that was.
Yeah. So then Edge gets irritated and he's like, no, like I want to talk to the crowd. So he starts going into the history of being in WWE because this is 25-year anniversary and working at Madison Square Garden and blah, 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 blah. That was basically me, like Grayson Waller. I was like, okay, we get it. We get it. And then so Grayson cuts him off again and announces that Edge is retiring. And Edge is just looking at him like, what is wrong with you, brother? And he says, you know what, Grayson, you've had one hell of a week. Okay.
Last week they're acknowledging it.
I know.
I love how it's like that.
Last week you were in the ring at Money in the Bank with John Cena. Less than a week later, you're in the ring with me, which I was like, okay, Edge, like hype yourself. Like, okay, King. And Edge says, you know what? You haven't even had a match yet on the main roster, and you're talking this ish. Okay. So it's time to sink or swim, bruh. He says he's not retiring and that he is actually going to have a match tonight, and it will be with Grayson Waller. I am. When I become British, apparently I become Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett.
I got some bad news.
I'm
Sara.
Stupid. Wade Barrett. So then his whirlwind week continues with his match against Edge. And I just don't. It's not that I didn't think this was a good match. I just don't have a lot to say. Okay. It was a great match. Great back and forth. Cool to see Edge putting over younger talent. Okay. Really cool. This was. Obviously, it was Edge's first match in 3 months because he's been gone since WrestleMania. And this was Grayson Waller's first match on SmackDown since he left NXT with a broken leg. And so that was cool because, again, we didn't find out that he was recovering from a broken leg until like 3 weeks ago. And then he's like right back in the ring. And I was like, okay, like that's fine. And after Edge wins, gets on the mic to let Mr. Grayson Waller know, hey, Grayson, you swam. And so I thought that was really cool because I felt like that said a lot about how WWE views him. The potential that they believe that Grayson has is humongous because not anybody gets put in the ring with John Cena, especially at this point in John Cena's career. Nor do they have a debut match against a legend like Edge.
Week.
Yeah.
The same week.
Yeah.
Potato.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. And I think it I like that Edge is at that point as well. because Cena's been there for a couple years trying to put over, the younger guys or whoever's really hot, whatever. But Edge has been more doing like his own thing and having his own feuds and stuff. So this was cool because I feel like this might be kind of where we see Edge from now on.
It's a good role for him. Just like you need to have Edge on TV, and I feel like wants to be there as much as he can. But putting over the next talent is how you do it at this stage. And he's very good with it. He can go back and forth with them. He doesn't seem like he's lost that much of a step in the ring, So I'm excited for this new stage of Edge.
I'm also really excited about Grayson Waller. I don't know what it is, but like,
he's insane.
I hate his ring gear. I don't understand.
Why?
I feel like he looks like a boxer, but also it's like a dude just wearing basketball shorts. Like I don't know.
Like he's like going for like a prize fighter.
I don't know. I don't know. It feels to me like it doesn't make sense to me. But I don't know. It's not like it's like, oh my god, he sucks because he's wearing fucking basketball shorts. This loser. Like I don't mean it like that. But that was
not really your cup of tea.
That was really funny in my head. No, but like in the last few weeks, I've become like more intrigued by him. So I'm like, this is my problem. This is what I say when I'm just like naturally drawn to the bad guys. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, if you're not a Grayson Waller fan, all of a sudden you're like, all right, I'm getting intrigued by you.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is my problem. This is why I say like. I'm a heel gal. I like the bad guys. Like
you like the bad boys.
Oh my god, they're so mysterious. So yeah, so they're so mysterious and like hot and whatever, Okay. And then we get on to the women's segment, which, as I say in this banner here, it was unique. So Asuka comes out and she cut her hair. It's cute. Says that nobody is ready for Asuka.
I'm on my own. She is.
Why did I say it like Wade Barrett again? Why is Wade Barrett in my mind?
I don't know.
Wade Barrett.
Well, because English.
I know, but I always turn into him when I do a British accent. Like, I don't understand. Anyway, so Asuka's like, no one's ready for me. And Bianca's like, excuse me, girl. And she comes out and attacks her. And then all hell breaks loose. And Charlotte comes out. We'll talk about this chick in a second. And then it starts attacking her. And then as all of this is going down, Bayley and Io Sky come out, and Io starts attacking Asuka with the briefcase. She then gets help from Bayley to hit the moonsault, and then it appears that she wants to cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase on Asuka because Asuka's like dead in the ring. But as Bayley is handing it to the referee, Bianca's like, and makes sure that she falls and is like, didn't I, girlfriend? And then basically they just stand there, and that was it. Bianca's music hits, I think. I don't know. And then Charlotte's standing in the ring like she's the one who fucking did something. Like I was just like, girl, this is why I don't like you. She's standing in the ring and she's like, give me my praise. Like, look at what I did. I want to be like, you all did weird. This was weird. Like,
they're just spots.
Like you
spots. It was weird. Everybody.
And then she also, I just can't. Other than the fact that she thinks that she can be the queen, Brittany, coming out in her toxic outfit.
Okay, that was the song. I couldn't I was like, this is Brittany? Don't know the song. I thought it was the first. No. Oops, I did it again.
No, that's the pink leather.
Pink leather. Okay.
Yeah. So Charlotte, every single week her outfits get weirder, but she's really into the one piece, like onesie jumpsuit things, because this is like the 5th time that she's worn one, and I don't really understand it. But to me, it screams, I want to be big time Bex so bad. And I mean big time Bex era of Becky Lynch, because that was when Becky was wearing like high fashion, like why would anyone ever buy that and wear it type of stuff. Like that's what she was doing, kind of like what Rollins does sometimes. And this is like what the vibe I get from Charlotte, because I'm like, girl, you've never dressed like this before. So why are you doing this? Again, everything she does is because she's trying to get the same reaction from Becky. Like, call me a hater. I don't care, because I credit the girl. But I do think that, yeah, this is her trying to.
I thought it was weird. I'm not
weird.
a fan of the jumpsuits. They look just really futuristic, and it's the no shoes.
No,
Free not.
she had heels on. She had like heels
Oh
or
no,
boots.
no. But
Yeah.
in other times, I'm saying because I remember the
Yeah.
heels last time. I was like, cheat that with a heel, good shit,
Yeah.
bro. But no,
Yeah.
other times when the no shoes, I'm like, this just aesthetically looks weird.
Yeah.
It's just
well,
off.
and to me, you're not actually wearing that. You know what I mean? Like you bought that to wear on SmackDown. You know, like I know there's going to be some times where they're playing up a character, and so it's like this is what this character would wear. But Charlotte isn't a character right now. Charlotte is like being Charlotte, but she's like not good at being Charlotte as a babyface. You know, so it's like. It just doesn't work. I don't know. I don't like it, and I just felt like it was weird, and it's just another thing to the list that I say that she wants to be Becky because she's jealous of Becky. Oh, jeez. What the heck? Sorry. That was my mic drop, but it was like camera drop. Sorry.
I thought you fell.
No, I moved my laptop.
Oh, man, I thought you just fell for a second. I was gonna just.
No.
Whoa.
What the heck? Okay, no, I didn't fall. Imagine. I'm just like, oh,
help!
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Can't get up.
Where's my life alert? Remember the button necklace?
Oh, oh, those commercials were elite.
Yeah. So that was all we were going to talk about with SmackDown, but they already did announce that Asuka Bianca will take place next week for the Women's Championship, and we already know how this is going to end. It is going to end in a DQ, a no contest, an interference from Charlotte because they want to set up Charlotte, Asuka, Bianca triple threat for the women's title at SummerSlam. Right?
Yeah, I'm okay with this. I don't have any strong feelings about it because SummerSlam is the summer WrestleMania, or the biggest show of the summer, all that. And this match would just slap. I'm sorry. This match would just go so hard. Between Asuka and Charlotte, they're going to have a banger. We've seen Asuka and Bianca put on bangers. Mm-hmm. Charlotte and Bianca just need to get into it in the ring at some point and fight, and then kind of lead into maybe a one-on-one feud.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
As long as it doesn't involve the title.
That's what I was saying too. Asuka needs to win this. Or win that, because Asuka needs to be a dominant champion.
Maybe like they can fight over who gets the rematch. Although it's like everybody could always get a rematch, because at the end of this, they both are wanting a rematch because, Charlotte didn't win and Bianca lost her title. So it's like they both are wanting a rematch. But I feel like if Asuka wins at SummerSlam, like, can they really both be like, we want rematches? It's like, that was your rematch, but I mean, I guess if they were going to do that, they could maybe be like, no, only one of you gets a rematch because like you've already both gotten it. Whatever, maybe they can fight for that, or they can fight over who's the number one contender, or they can fight over who's better. I don't know, like, as long as it's not for the title, because Asuka she can't lose it right now.
No, we need to have like longer reigning champions, and
especially the women.
The women absolutely do. They need to have a longer reigning Miss Money in the Bank. I'm sorry, but
she's already one of the longest reigning. She's the second longest reigning, which is crazy, is it not? After she had it for 24 hours or something like that, she already became the second longest reigning. Or no, was it after she had it for like an hour? I think it was like an hour or something. I forget. It was like minimal hours, because every other one except for Carmella cashed in the same night. So once she had it for like an hour or two, it was like, oh, she's the second most, the longest reigning.
Nikki Cross was women's champion.
Yeah, but wasn't she Nikki ASH? Almost a superhero.
She needs to stay where she's at. I love this little her back and forth with Candace. Like, let's see a little bit more of that, please.
Yeah. So then we also have a Raw preview. So there are 3 matches as of right now that are set to happen on Raw, most likely so that Mr. McMahon cannot change it. But, he doesn't give a fuck, so he'll do whatever he wants. So we have Becky Lynch versus Zoe Stark, which I think could be interesting. I'm assuming there's going to be something in it that makes it so, like, it's not an official end to a match, because they want to hype it up for SummerSlam.
Yeah. Trish's going to get involved. or if she gets involved and doesn't get caught by the official, excuse me, she'll hit Becky over the head with her mask or whatnot, Rip Hamilton style, and then roll up, dirty win, and then set up their match at SummerSlam. But is there any possibility you think this could be like a good match? Because I mean, both these women are great in the ring.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I get a little bit worried because similar to how I feel about like Ridge Holland for different reasons, Zoe is a little stiff or like hard hitting. So I always I'm like, oh, like how's this gonna go? Because her style is just like very different than a lot of the other girls. And so I do think that could be interesting because Becky isn't necessarily like that, but it's not like super different than what Becky does. So I think that could be interesting because obviously her matches with Trish are different because Trish is slower than she used to be in a completely different style of wrestling because she is a wrestler of her era, whereas Becky obviously is not. So I do think this could be good. But yeah, I'd be curious to see like how it ends and how it leads to SummerSlam, and hopefully that's the end of it because.
Yeah, I'm done with this after SummerSlam.
Yeah, as much as I love Becky and Trish, I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm ready for the next thing.
Yeah.
Then we also have a potential banger. We have Tommaso Ciampa versus The Miz in a no disqualification match.
No one will survive. That's actually how the match is gonna go. So.
Yeah, I have no idea how this is gonna go. Like, I don't know who's gonna win.
I think Ciampa's gonna win.
I mean, I hope, but I just wonder like who's gonna
Miz
interfere for The Miz, or is Johnny Gargano gonna come back?
Imagine Bronson Reed and The Miz.
That would be weird.
He doesn't really need a mouthpiece, but like The Miz just needs someone.
What if Gargano came back though for Ciampa?
You could do that too. Same match. You know, Bronson Reed comes out to do that, and then Gargano comes to save him. Also sets up DIY to have a little feud with the tag team before they challenge for the tag team titles.
Yeah.
What? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I really care how this match goes or like how it happens. I'm just excited for no disqualification. And that I get to watch Ciampa because Ciampa's like kind of hot. I don't know why, but he's kind of hot. You know,
the bald head, real shiny.
It's the bald head. It's the beard. It's the hairy chest. I don't know. It's just like so mealy and stuff. Like, you know. Then we also have Ricochet and Logan Paul coming face to face, which I'm so excited. I can't wait to see Logan.
I'm usually pretty optimistic about shit like this, but I am just not. I don't care about face-offs between Ricochet and Logan Paul. Yeah, I just want to see him fight. I just have no will.
Yeah.
To get into this and be excited for it, except for when they actually get in the ring.
I think that they're trying to hype it up for SummerSlam like really early because Logan can't like dedicate himself to wrestling. So like this is probably a time where he could be like, yeah, I can be there, and then he won't show up again until SummerSlam, which it's so annoying. And so I feel like that's what the unfortunate part is for Ricochet. Because like I don't know how well this is gonna go over. Not because people don't care, but like it's like 3-4 weeks before SummerSlam. So it's like, are we really supposed to be like super excited about this right now? Or super excited about something that we're probably not going to see over the next 3-4 weeks? You know, like
that's true.
To make you more excited about it. But that's because Logan can't just like commit to being around a little bit more. So I mean, I'm excited for Ricochet.
I'm very excited for Ricochet. He's finally getting matches and getting showcased on the match card. It's nice.
Isn't it amazing how that works when it's just like, oh wow, like someone new is in charge and he's like, oh wait, like there's other guys that are really talented. We don't need Braun Strowman to be WWE champion. You know, we don't need Omos beating down random local wrestlers every single week. You know,
I don't need squash. Yeah, we don't need squash matches really anymore.
Not all the time, anyway.
No.
But yeah, so we shall see. But that was SmackDown and Raw. preview.
It was a SmackDown at Madison Square Garden. Like, that's just what it was to me. It was top notch. The Bloodline dominated the episode in the sense where you could actually make like I'm sorry, if they drop the ball and don't make a Bloodline type of show by WWE Studios, I mean, by the time I'm 40, then what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, you just need it to go to Hollywood. You need this Bloodline story to go to Hollywood, and you already have my tribal chief as, I would say, the people's champ of Hollywood right now. So make it happen. I don't know what we're doing.
I don't know, but I'm just excited. I'm excited that we're still excited.
Right?
You know?
It's a good way to put it. I'm excited. We're still excited. Hope you guys should be what?
Oh, well, and should we tease that we have a name for our show?
We do.
I won't say what it is, but
I know we won't because it's in the works. But we have
we're
a name.
being rebranded. Oh,
we're rebranding. Yeah. We're up to something.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
It's exciting times, guys.
Champs are making big moves.
Yep.
I said champs. Where's your
belt? I said yep.
Belt.
It's in the
we
closet.
need you to get your own title.
Okay, but if you want to spend $400, $500 on one, feel free.
Well, this was bought at Walmart for $14. Maybe a little more. I don't check.
They don't sell like mini women's ones. So
to maybe shop or something. And then I paid the Gillette Gazette. Go check that out.
See, I want a real women's one, but I can't decide, like a replica one. I mean, like one that's like 7 pounds, but I don't know which one I want because for a very long time I wanted like the original women's championship, but now it's just kind of like it would be like for the nostalgia, you know, because it's kind of like compared to the current ones, it's like it's so small, you know. Yeah. But it is because like that's the era I grew up in, like that was the championship, but now I feel like I wouldn't be. I don't know which one I would want out of the World Women's or just the WWE Women's. Like I don't know. I feel like I like the Women's Championship because it looks like, you know, it's so gold and stuff.
I love the gold look.
The World one is cool too, though. So I don't know.
I want a spinner title so fucking bad. It's not even funny.
They sell them still, I think, on WWE Shop, don't they?
Yeah, the US title one was one of the greatest title designs ever.
Shout out John Cena.
Shout out to John.
Shout out Thugonomics, the doctor of Thugonomics. Yeah. The love of my life. Did I tell you that when he was, you know, still in his rapping phase, AIM was still around? That was the way us kids communicated because we couldn't
text. I had an AIM.
Okay, but I'm saying, but this was before texting was a thing. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Every single week, his newest rap was my profile on AIM.
That's incredible.
Like I would copy, or no, actually, I would write
like
it
your
out
status thing. Is that, or is it like the wall, like the thing that you click on? You go to someone's wall and they can post like.
Well, it's not a wall. We're talking about AIM, not Facebook.
I know, but I don't know what the name.
No, it's like okay, so yeah, it was like their profile, like their bio, like when you would click on, yeah, like their bio.
Something else, but
yeah. So that was always my newest one, every single week. So good times.
What was your name on AIM?
Oh, it was nothing. It was like Bella Girl because my mom calls me Bella. So
okay, so that's not. Like,
I didn't have a fun one. I didn't have like.
I mean, okay.
I wasn't Rob Gronkowski. That was like chick magnet for life. I didn't have one like that.
Mine were pretty bad. That's why.
I'm sure they were.
I had two.
Oh God.
Minnie Moss 88.
Okay, that's not that horrible.
It's when you're short, stocky, and white. And he was 81 and 84, so we don't do numbers well either. And then Celt Superfan 08.
Oh, see, but that's not that bad.
Yeah, that's just like middle school.
Yeah.
Minnie Moss is bad.
Minnie Moss. I'm just busy being like
Minnie Riddick Moss. That's what I was referring to.
I was loving Riddick Moss.
Shout out to him. Congrats. He got engaged. Good for him.
Like a month ago, but
it was a month ago?
Yeah, they got engaged a while ago. Jeez, but you know, whatever. News doesn't travel fast, apparently.
Yeah, apparently not through the cave. But so thank you guys for tuning into this edition of Pits and Towers Wrestling Show. Hit that subscribe button on Sarah's YouTube channel and go check out all our videos in the archives. All right, we got a lot of shorts that if you don't have the hour and 9 minutes and 51 seconds to tune in, and you only want to talk about you don't want to hear about the bloodline, you want to hear talk about Grace Wall or whatever, we have it in the archives on our YouTube shorts and whatnot. So go hit that subscribe button and then follow us on Twitter at Pat_Pits and at SMarshXO. And the link is in the bio for our other channels. Because Sarah, it's a mouthful, and we've already.
That's why I said just check the bio.
I want to at least shout out the Twitter, Threads too. I'm on Threads, Pitsy35. Like, I want to get Threads going. I got to get better at Threads, but I feel like we're cooking.
All right,
we're cooking over on Threads, so go check us out there. Yeah. So until next time, until Tuesday. Oh, yeah. So Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. Remember, you can do it. All you gotta do is try. We will see you on Tuesday. Yeah.